Imagine, you're a 35-year-old woman. You're an emergency room physician, and you've just married the man of your dreams. And after your picture-perfect wedding, you return to your hotel, and he hits you. And as you lay on the floor, shocked, and confused, and hurt, you think to yourself, I never thought I would be the person who was hit by your husband. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. We have perceptions about abuse, and our perceptions don't agree with the scenario that I just described. So my goal tonight is to challenge those perceptions, and maybe we can all think about abuse a little differently. Who is an abused spouse? An abused spouse, by our perception, is a woman. She's poor, she's uneducated. She probably grew up in a home of violence. The research tells us that's not true. Abuse does not discriminate. Not by age, not by race, not by socioeconomic status, and not by gender. While it's true that 1 in 4 women will experience abuse in their lifetime, it's equally true that men experience abuse too. And while it's more difficult to quantify, to come up with the numbers, that in no way negates their experience or their pain. So what is abuse? I think we can all agree, one partner hits another, that's abuse. But what about those everyday disagreements? Voices are raised, things are said. Is that abuse? No, of course not. But verbal and psychological abuse exists. I interviewed a woman, her name is Ethel. And Ethel's husband never hit her. But she was a victim of abuse. When Ethel got married, she became very forgetful. She'd go to bed at night, take off her earrings. The next morning, she couldn't find them. Her car keys never, ever seemed to be where she put them. It was a joke. Oh, you'd wish your pet wasn't attached. But gradually, it stopped being a joke, and it started being abuse. How could you be so stupid? Can't you do anything right? You're useless. And after living with that barrage for years, she was diagnosed with depression and put on medication. And for a while, she didn't feel so bad. And then she started sinking into the darkness once more. One morning, she shoved the medication into her hand, and she felt that something wasn't right. On a hunch, she took that capsule and opened it, and discovered that the medication had been removed. It was that final indignity that allowed her to break free. And interestingly, once her husband had been removed from the house by court order, nothing ever went missing again. It had been him all along. So isn't abuse for law enforcement to deal with? After all, there's nothing that we can do. I had the privilege of interviewing frontline police officers, an OPP detachment commander, and a Crown attorney who practiced right here in Brampton for 15 years. They told me about their procedures of taking information to help victims access services, and carrying teddy bears to help children whose lives were crumbling around them. They told me that every interview with an abuse victim is video recorded, because sometimes when the case goes to trial, the victim can't speak for herself anymore. But what was most enlightening was a story from the Crown attorney. And he told me that he would come into his office on Monday, and there would be a stack of files on his desk. And that would be all the domestics for the weekend. But he wouldn't touch them, because there would be a parade of women through his office every Monday recanting their story. I ran into the door, I fell down the stairs. Sometimes they would be brought in by their husbands, who obviously had a vested interest in the situation. But often, they were brought in by community leaders, by religious leaders, and sometimes by their own mothers and fathers. Well-meaning people who thought that abuse was private and shouldn't be discussed in the public. So what did I learn from all of this? I learned that abuse, it's not a gender issue, and it's not a law enforcement issue. It's a human issue. So next time you see someone in distress, don't turn away, reach out, because it's going to take all of us to end abuse.